Angela Gittens, Director General, Airports Council International. We're here at the International Transport Forum and we're talking about innovation. What, in your opinion, would be the most important innovation that we had in the last 50 to 60 years?
Well, I think if you see innovation as to what has been a game changer, I'd say it's the introduction of the jet aircraft on a commercial basis, because that enabled mass market air travel, and I think which has ultimately led to this global world we have for good and for ill. But that would not have been possible had you not had this very safe, reliable form of air transport.
And looking ahead, let's say the next until 2050, what do you think are the innovations that we're likely to see in this period of time?
Well, I think you're going to see more integration of IT into processes in transportation. You're seeing some of it already, but I think you're going to see it really used from before a ticket, and by the way, that term will not be around in 20 years, but before what we now know as a ticket is ever purchased, from the time someone thinks of going somewhere to the time they get back from that trip, you're going to see IT throughout the whole process and used by every player in that journey, including the government, including the customs and immigration and baggage and airlines and airports and parking and concessions.
What would you think, how can regulators help to secure these investments in airports? What can they do?
Yeah, I think airports are willing to be seen as businesses and to pay for infrastructure. However, there's two things regulators can do. The first is many of these regulators need to step up to the plate on security. There's a component of aviation security that's just part of the business of accommodating travel, but a large component these days has to do with national security, which is really a government responsibility. So the regulators really need to take more of a financial responsibility for security, particularly as it gets more and more expensive. The second thing regulators can do is recognize airports take tremendous risks. They spend a lot of money on capital. That money can wind up being wasted or underused, or the facilities can be wasted or underused if the airline changes its business model. That happens all the time. So airports need flexibility in the economic regulation, and that's something regulators can do. The airports are businesses. They need reserves. They need financial flexibility.